Okay. Shrishti, Sahil, Deep, can you all hear my voice?
Yes, sir.
Shrishti, am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Shrishti, I was waiting for you only. Tomorrow onwards, please try to join the class as early as
Okay, sir.
possible. Fine. To wait for. Fine. So in yesterday's class, we have discussed the methods of conservation. We have seen that there are two methods of conservation. One is called as in situ conservation, and another is called as ex situ conservation. In situ conservation, we conserve and preserve the plants and animal species in its natural environment. And there are various, the areas, protected areas, are used for protecting the in situ conservation. That is national park, wildlife sanctuaries, then biosphere reserve. Then some areas is declared as कुछ एरियाज को नेशनल पार्क के तौर पर सैक्रेड फॉरेस्ट is what is the in situ conservation. Ex situ conservation, we have seen that there are other methods of ex situ conservation like botanic gardens, translocations, artificial insemination, somatic cell cloning, etc. These are the ways through which the you know the plants and animals are preserved and conserved. The biodiversity is preserved and conserved in a various way. So as we have discussed that in India also there were many such animals, there were many such plants in India which were endangered. Those उनकी संख्या बहुत कम होती जा रही थी, तो उनको रोकने के लिए या उनकी संख्या को प्रिजर्व करने के लिए, प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए there were different projects have been started by the government of India. Because we have seen that even if one particular species or one particular animal or one particular the part of that ecosystem is collapsed, मतलब एक particular animal भी अगर extinct हो जाता है या वो खत्म हो जाता है, then the whole ecosystem collapses. That's what we have discussed, and that is why in many parts of the country, in many the areas of the country, some projects have been run by the government to preserve and conserve the animal species which are जिनकी संख्या कम होती जा रही थी, जिनके नंबर कम होते जा रहा था, ऐसे प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स को प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए कुछ प्रोजेक्ट बनाए गए. सो which are those projects that we will be discussing today. So the species based conservation program in India are सबसे important जो है that is called Project Tiger. You must have heard about Project Tigers in newspaper. This year the Project Tiger का एक रिपोर्ट आया था, उसमें ये पाया गया है that because of this Project Tiger initiative taken by the government in the last 20 to 25 years, the number of the tiger has increased. Earlier India में जो टाइगर की जो संख्या थी वो बहुत कम हो गई थी, it has been reduced, but due to the efforts taken by the government under the Project Tiger, the number of the tiger has increased in the last 2 to 3 years. So what is this Project Tiger? So tigers are terminal consumers in ecological food pyramid. हमने देखा था in the food pyramid, in the food the wave and in the food chain, tiger is at the top of the pyramid, right? So tigers are, it means that कि अगर किसी इकोसिस्टम में टाइगर है, इसका मतलब ये है कि that ecosystem is properly balanced. If tiger is not there, it means that there is some disturbance in that ecosystem. So that's what is mentioned here, that tigers are terminal consumers in ecological food pyramid, and their conservation results in the conservation of all trophic levels in an ecosystem. Because we have seen that जब भी बायोस्फीयर रिजर्व या वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी या नेशनल पार्क में जब किसी इन सिटू कंजर्वेशन जब किया जाता है, then the whole ecosystem needs to be conserved. The whole ecosystem needs to be kept in balanced the system. That is what is mentioned here, that conservation of the tiger, it means that it will result in the conservation of all trophic levels in an ecosystem. मतलब जो इकोसिस्टम के फूड चेन के टॉप पे है, टॉप पे जो एनिमल होता है, उस एनिमल को अगर हम प्रिजर्व करेंगे तो नीचे वाले जितने भी सारे पिरामिड्स के नीचे जितने सारे ट्रॉपिक लेवल्स हैं, सारे ट्रॉपिक लेवल का भी कंजर्वेशन हो जाता है. सो protecting tiger or preserving tiger or conserving tiger will lead to the conservation of all trophic levels. The other components of the ecosystem, both biotic as well as abiotic component of that ecosystem, is protected. So Project Tiger is a centrally sponsored scheme, that is central government के द्वारा ये sponsor किया गया government of India, which was launched on 1st April 1973 when Indira Gandhi was the Prime Minister of India at the time. This has been passed. this many important environmental related, pollution related या wildlife को conservation से related जो important initiatives है इस year में ही किया गया था. It has started in 1972. Any idea why all these initiatives like Wildlife Protection Act, national parks, then the Project Tiger, Project Elephant, Project Rhinoceros, all this, why it has been started in 1973 only? Any idea about it? कि इसी साल में क्यों शुरुआत हुई थी?
Because of Stockholm Declaration, sir.
Yes, Sagar. What is the reason?
Stockholm Declaration, sir, 1972 में हुआ था.
1972 में हुआ था, right? So in 1971 एक global level पे एक बहुत important meeting बुलाई गई थी, because 1950 से लेकर 1970 के दौरान में ये पता चल गया था कि it has been observed or it has been brought into the notice of the world fraternity that due to the increased industrialization, due to increased pollution, due to increased anthropogenic interference in the natural ecosystem, पूरे जितने भी वर्ल्ड का ग्लोबल वार्मिंग हो रहा है, क्लाइमेट चेंज हो रहा है, प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल की संख्या कम होती जा रही है, और इसके लिए ग्लोबल लेवल पर एफर्ट्स लेने चाहिए. ग्लोबल लेवल पर सारे कंट्रीज ने एक साथ आकर all the countries should come together and they should take a concerted effort to protect the plants and animal species, to take an initiative to reduce the increasing carbon dioxide emission, to increasing effect of the greenhouse gases. इन सारी चीजों के लिए 1971 में एक वर्ल्ड लेवल पे समिट बुलाई गई, and that summit is famously called as the Earth Summit. That in 1971 में एक summit बुलाई गई थी. All the countries in the world, they have come together, they had a summit, they had a meeting, and all the countries have agreed that all the governments in the world, they will take some initiative to protect and conserve the endangered animals, endangered plants, endangered the insects, etc. And at the same time, they have all agreed to reduce the carbon, to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions in the respective countries. So India के पॉलिसी में last DPSP, Direct to Principle of State Policy, that is Article 51 of the Indian Constitution, which mentioned that India will try to implement the agreements which has been signed at the international level. मतलब इंटरनेशनल लेवल पे एज अ कंट्री, एज अ नेशन, हमने जो भी कमिटमेंट्स किए, हमने जो भी एग्रीमेंट्स किए, उन्हें इंप्लीमेंट करने की कोशिश स्टेट को करना चाहिए. दैट इज व्हाट इज द डायरेक्ट प्रिंसिपल ऑफ स्टेट पॉलिसी इन आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. सो एज पर दैट 1971 की मीटिंग में जो भी तय किया गया था बाय ऑल द ग्लोबल लीडर्स, ऑल द कंट्रीज इन द वर्ल्ड, दैट ऑल द कंट्रीज विल टेक इनिशिएटिव्स टू प्रोटेक्ट एंड कंजर्व द प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल स्पीसीज. तो उसकी वजह से 1972 में इंडिया के पार्लियामेंट में वाइल्ड लाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट पास किया गया, देन पोल्यूशन कंट्रोल एक्ट पास किया गया, देन उसके बाद इंडियन गवर्नमेंट हैज टेकन मेनी इनिशिएटिव टू कंजर्व द endangered animals and plant specific animals. So tiger was one such animal in India जिसकी संख्या बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे कम होती जा रही थी इंडिया में. प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर के साथ एलिफेंट है, देन एशियाटिक लायन है, ये सारी चीजों को किया जा रहा था. Now you observe that why we have started Project Tiger, Project Elephant and Project Lion. The reason is that all these animals, whether it is elephant or tiger or lion, they are at the top of the trophic level, they are at the top of the food chain. So if we are protecting lion, if we are protecting elephant, if we are protecting the tiger, it means that we will be protecting the whole ecosystem. All of you understood why we have identified these large animals only? Because these animals are at the top of the trophic level. So conservation of these animals will result in conservation of all trophic level in an ecosystem. And that is why 1971 India agree किया था at the international level that we will preserve and conserve our animals. So tiger was India's national animal, and protecting and conserving the tiger was much more important, and that is why Project Tiger was started as a centrally sponsored scheme of Government of India, which was launched on 1st April 1973 for in situ conservation. Remember, in situ conservation के लिए उसको लिया गया of wild tigers in designated tiger region. So some areas in India, they have been declared as a tiger reserve areas for tiger, and these habitat, उनकी जो habitat है उसको preserve किया जा रहा है. उनका जो इकोसिस्टम है उसको प्रिजर्व किया जाए। वन मोर इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग, यू नो, द थर्ड ऑल इंडिया सर्विस इन इंडिया, लाइक इंडिया में 3 ऑल इंडिया सर्विसेज है, कौन से हैं? Which are those 3 all India services in India?
Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service,
Indian
and Indian
Police
Forest
Service, Indian
Service.
Foreign Service.
Yes, Indian Forest Service. So, you know, before 1971 in India there were only 2 all India services. 1971 के बाद ही इंडिया में अलग से एक ऑल इंडिया सर्विस क्रिएट की गई। A separate and dedicated services have been created in India, which is called as Indian Forest Service, and the responsibility of the Indian Forest Service officers is to preserve and conserve the endangered species, to protect our forest, to have our forest सस्टेनेबल, हमारे जो फॉरेस्ट है उसमें सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ कैसे किया जा सकता है, इन सारी चीजों का काम इंडियन फॉरेस्ट सर्विसेज के ऑफिसर करते हैं। All have understood? So Indian Forest Service as an all India services has been created after the 1971 Earth Summit only. So that's what you can see, that Project Tiger was started in 1973 for in situ conservation of wild tigers in designated tiger reserve. So India के कुछ areas हैं, some areas of India have been declared as a tiger reserve areas. So the projects, what is the aim of that project? The project aims at ensuring viable population of Bengal tigers. Yesterday I told you that the Royal Bengal tiger is India's national, the animal. So the project aims at ensuring a viable population of Bengal tigers in their natural habitats, and also to protect them from extinction, and preserving the areas of biological importance as natural heritage forever, represented as close as possible the diversity of ecosystem across the tiger distribution in the country. So there are so many tiger reserves in India, जहां पर अलग-अलग जगहों पे किया गया। पिछले 2 साल से टाइगर का सेंसस किया गया था, and in that tiger census it has been observed that the number of the tiger has increased in India in the last 2 to 3 years. Like after 20 to 25 years efforts, for the first time the number of the tiger has increased. So tiger census का एक report आया था, Indian Express में भी आया था. So that we will try to see. Let's see what is the result of that Project Tiger. Can you all see the Google on your screen? Is it visible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's see it in the Wikipedia. I will be discussing in detail because this year the report of the project has been submitted, and I'm expecting the question can be asked by the UPSC mains exam. So Project Tiger is a tiger conservation program started in April 1, 1973 by Government of India during the Prime Minister Indira Gandhi's tenure. The project aims at, can you all see it on your screen? The project aims at ensuring a viable population of Bengal tiger in natural habitats, protecting from its extinction, and preserving areas of biological importance as natural heritage that represent the diversity of ecosystem across the tigers range in the country. जो वहां पर मेरे नोट्स में जो है वो विकिपीडिया से ही कॉपी करके लिया गया है. The project's task force visualized these tiger reserves as a breeding nuclei. इंडिया के जो टाइगर रिजर्व वहां पर ब्रीडिंग किया जाता है. The tiger reserve of India was set up in 1973 and are governed by under Project Tiger, which is administered by the National Tiger Conservation Authority. Remember, ये जितने सारे टाइगर रिजर्व एरियाज हैं, these tiger reserve areas are administered under the National Tiger Conservation Authority. इस साल के प्रीलिम्स एग्जाम में एक क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था, बायोलॉजिकल डाइवर्सिटी को प्रिजर्व करने के लिए अथॉरिटी बनाया गया है, वो उसको प्रिजर्व करता है अंडर द गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया. Tiger reserves were designated in 50 protected areas in 2018. मतलब इंडिया के around 50 areas हैं which has been declared as a tiger reserve areas, right? So recently the 53rd tiger reserve was declared in Ranipur in West Bengal. So these are what the tiger reserve area के ये breeding nuclei, यहाँ पर tiger का breeding बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे होता है, from which surplus animals could migrate to the adjacent forest. Funds and commitments were mustered to support the intensive program of habitat protection and rehabilitation under the project. So as I told you that habitat protection is one of the most important strategy to preserve any endangered species. So that's what you can see that in tiger census in 2006 में एक नया methodology was used to extrapolating the site specific densities of the tiger. मतलब कौन से रिजर्व एरिया में, कौन से टाइगर रिजर्व एरिया में कितने टाइगर्स हैं उसको समझने के लिए एक नई मेथोडोलॉजी सेंसस में यूज की गई थी, एंड दैट वाज फ्रॉम कैमरा forest areas, and cameras used to take the snaps. They used to take it used to capture the photos of the tiger, and depending on that, the number of the tiger has been counted. So science surveys using GIS technology का भी इस्तेमाल किया गया to to count the number of the tigers in any particular areas. So based on the result of these surveys, the total tiger population was estimated at 1411 individuals. So imagine पूरे इंडिया में सिर्फ 1400 ही टाइगर है पूरे इंडिया में. Once upon a time, India was having lakhs of tigers, but now you can say the total tiger population is only around 1400, ranging from 1165 to 1657 adult and sub-adult tigers are more than 1.5 years of age. So it was claimed owing to the project, the number of the tiger increased to 2603 by 2018. 2018 में एक report आया था, and that report shows that because of this project tiger, the number of the tiger increased from 1165 to 2603 to 3346 individuals. तो अराउंड 3346 टाइगर इंडिया में पाए गए हैं ऐसा कहा गया था. इट वाज क्लेम अगेन उस समय में जब ये क्लेम आया था, टाइगर सेंसस का जब रिपोर्ट आया था, मेनी एनवायरमेंटलिस्ट एंड मेनी एक्सपर्ट इन दिस दे थॉट दैट कि दिस इज एन एक्सैजरेटेड फिगर. मतलब कुछ लोगों का था कि ये जो संख्या बताई जा रही है कि टाइगर की संख्या 3347 से बढ़ गई है, तो एक एक्सैजरेटेड फिगर है, ये बहुत ही बड़ा चढ़ा के बताया गया फिगर ऐसे कहा गया था. बट एनीवेज we are not going to go into that on the controversy. What you need to know as a aspirant that as a result of this project tiger, the number of the tiger increased in India, right? So in a testimony to the success of project tiger in 2022, for 54th tiger reserve in India was declared in Ranipur Wildlife Sanctuary, that is in Uttar Pradesh, being the state's 4th tiger reserve. So you can see India में अब तक 54 areas हैं that has been declared as a reserve area for tiger. Is it clear? In a statistics class we have seen that some areas are declared as a reserve area for one particular species. So what is the objective of this project tiger? To reduce the factors that lead to the depletion of the tiger habitats and to mitigate them by suitable management. तो वहाँ का जो tiger की जो habitats है उसको properly manage किया. The damages done to the habitat shall be rectified to facilitate the recovery of the ecosystem to the maximum possible extent, ensure a viable tiger population for economic, scientific, cultural, aesthetic and ecological values. We have seen the importance and the significance of the biodiversity. So हमने देखा था कि biodiversity का significance क्या है? That they are having economic values, they are having scientific values, they are having cultural values, aesthetic values and ecological values. सबसे important है ecological values, because टाइगर अगर उस इकोसिस्टम से खत्म हो गया तो क्या हो जाएगा? द एनिमल्स व्हिच आर बीइंग ईटन बाय द टाइगर, उनकी संख्या बढ़ जाएगी, और उनकी संख्या बढ़ने की वजह से क्या हो जाएगा? वो एनिमल जिस पे डिपेंड होता है उसकी संख्या कम हो जाएगी, और इस तरीके से द होल इकोसिस्टम विल कोलैप्स. एंड दैट इज व्हाई द प्रोटेक्टिंग टाइगर इज इंपॉर्टेंट. सो दैट इज व्हाई एक वायबल टाइगर पॉपुलेशन रहना जरूरी है. The monitoring of the system is called as M-Stripe. The question has been asked in 2016 or 17 के prelims exam में question पूछा गया था. The term M-Stripes are recently seen in the news. It is related to what? तो M-Stripe क्या है? M-Stripes are basically we can say a kind of collar. मतलब tiger के neck में ये collar डाला गया था, which is having the cameras, and उसके द्वारा where that tiger is moving, कौन से दिशा में जा रहा है, कहाँ जा रहा है, उसकी movement क्या है, किस एरिया का में उतना उसका मोमेंट होता है, that's all is observed, and that is what is called as M-Stripes, right? M-Stripe is a short monitoring system for tigers' intensive protection and ecological status. Is a software-based monitoring system launched across Indian Tiger Reserve by the Indian government's National Tiger Conservation Authority. So M-Stripes were developed, मतलब M-Stripes नाम की टेक्नोलॉजी इस्तेमाल की गई थी, कॉलर बेस्ड टेक्नोलॉजी कहा जाता है इसे. So the monitoring system M-Stripes was developed to assist patrol and protect the tiger habitats. It maps patrol routes and allows forest guards to enter sightings, events and changes when patrolling. It generates protocols based on this data so that management decisions can be taken. So एक नया system develop किया गया था, एक monitoring system which is called as M-Stripes to protect the tiger in India. Is it clear? So important Project Tiger, you can say important tiger conserving या tiger you can say reserve areas हम discuss करते हैं. Project Tiger, as we have already discussed, it is managed by National Tiger Conservation Authority. The overall administration of the project is monitored by the steering committee, which is headed by a director. A field director is appointed for each reserve, who is assisted by a technical person. So, ये जो director होते हैं, these are the Indian Forest Service officer. Important area which is called a Shivalikan Tarai region. Shivalikan Tarai region मतलब हिमालय के जो foothills है, in the foothills of Himalayas, some of the tigers are reserved. That is one important unit. Then northeastern India like Nagaland, Manipur, वहाँ पर भी tigers बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे पाए जाते हैं. That is one unit. Then Sundarban, which is in West Bengal. सुंदरबन में Royal Bengal tiger वहाँ पे बहुत ज्यादा है. तो सुंदरबन conservation unit. Western Ghats में भी बहुत सारे tigers पाए जाते हैं. Then Eastern Ghats. Then Central India में especially मध्य प्रदेश पन्ना tiger reserve. Then Kuno National Park. These are the areas जहाँ पर tiger conservation unit है. Then Sariska. Anyone knows where Sariska is located? You can see Sariska Tiger Reserve is a reserve in Alwar district of Rajasthan. It stretches around 881 square kilometer. यहाँ पर है. Then we are having Kaziranga. Kaziranga is in Assam. So Kaziranga National Park is a park in Golaghat and Navagaon district of the state of Kaziranga National Park. यहाँ पर one horned rhino is also protected. So these are the major areas where the tigers are protected. The various tiger reserves were created in the country based on the core buffer strategy. Core buffer strategy कहाँ पर होते हैं ये core areas and buffer areas? These are the areas in the biosphere reserve, right? So what is core area? That we have already discussed in yesterday's class. Anyone remember? कल के क्लास में हमने डिस्कस किया था. What are core areas? Core areas. The core areas are free of all human activities. It has the legal status of national park or wildlife sanctuary. It is kept free of biotic disturbances and forestry operations like collection of minor forest produce. Grazing and other human disturbances are not allowed. So core area में there is no, it is not allowed. Like collection of minor forest produce is also not allowed. Then other human disturbances are not also allowed in core areas. But in buffer areas, the buffer areas are subjected to conservation oriented land use. मतलब कुछ activities allowed है. They comprise that forest and non-forest land. It is a multiple purpose use area with twin objectives of providing habitat supplement to the spillover population of wild animals for the core conservation unit and providing site specific co-development influence to the surrounding villages for relieving the impact on the core area. तो यहाँ पर forest produce को इस्तेमाल करने के लिए allowed किया गया है. So the important thrust areas of the plan period are. This is not important for us. बस आपको इतना ही ध्यान में रखना है because जिस साल के prelims exam में question पूछा गया था that which activities are allowed in core areas and which activities are not allowed in buffer areas. That's what you need to know. So this is what is called as the core buffer strategy of tiger reserve area. This is not only for tiger reserve. This core buffer strategy is also applicable to other animal as well. So there are certain controversies and problems as well with respect to the Project Tiger. You can read it out here. This will be useful for you for the mains exam point of view. Now let's move back to the other project under this preservation and conservation, that is Project Elephant. So जैसे टाइगर की संख्या को प्रिजर्व करने के लिए प्रोजेक्ट शुरू किया गया था, same project has also been started to preserve the number of the elephants in India. So elephant was launched in 1992. ये बहुत बाद में शुरू किया गया था. पहले 1973 में प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर किया गया था. But it has been again observed that the number of the elephant is also being reduced in the India, and that is why elephant was launched in 1992. In 2000, I think 20 or 21 prelims exam, there was question has been asked with respect to the number of elephants in India. Like which state of the India is having the highest number of the elephants? ऐसे कुछ question पूछा गया था. So elephant project was launched in 1992 to assist the states having free-ranging populations of wild elephants to ensure long-term survival of identified viable population of elephants in natural habitats. The project is being implemented in 12 states in India, that is Andhra Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Jharkhand, Karnataka, Kerala, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Uttaranchal, and West Bengal. These are the states where elephants are preserved. यहाँ पर elephants पाए जाते हैं, तो यहाँ पर ये these are being projected. Now next is Asiatic lion reintroduction project. कल हमने देखा था कि there is one more important in situ conservation method is called a reintroduction. मतलब उस एरिया में अगर कभी वहां पर एशियाटिक लायंस थे, अब वहां पर एशियाटिक लायंस नहीं है, लेकिन दैट एरिया इज सुटेबल फॉर द एशियाटिक लायंस, देन एशियाटिक लायंस दूसरे एरिया से वहां पर क्या किया जाता है, रीइंट्रोड्यूस किया जाता है. सो एशियाटिक लायन रीइंट्रोडक्शन प्रोजेक्ट is an effort to save the Asiatic lion from extinction in the wild. The last wild population in the Gir forest region. Gir forest, all of you know where Gir is located. Anyone knows Gir area? ये कौन से स्टेट में है इंडिया में?
गुजरात.
गुजरात.
Right. So अब इंडिया में जो एशियाटिक लायन है, जो पूरे एशिया में पाए जाते थे एशियाटिक लायन, these are only observed in the, they have been found in the Gir forest region. तो वहां से कुछ एशियाटिक लायंस को ट्रांसलोकेट किया गया in some other parts of the country. So the last wild population of the Gir forest region of the Indian state of Gujarat is threatened by epidemics, natural disasters and anthropogenic factors. तो वहां पे एपिडेमिक्स आ रहे थे, वहां पे नेचुरल डिजास्टर्स आ रहे थे, और वहां पर एंथ्रोपोजेनिक एक्टिविटीज की वजह से उसकी संख्या कम होती जा रही थी. So the project aims to establish a second independent population of Asiatic lions at the Kuno National Wildlife Sanctuary in the Indian state of Madhya Pradesh. तो Kuno Wildlife Sanctuary में भी अफ्रीका से लाए गए जो चीता है, अफ्रीकन चीता, they have also been introduced in the same the wildlife sanctuary that is called as Kuno National Park or Kuno Wildlife Sanctuary. So this question has also been asked in 2020 prelims exam, that in which among the following national park or in which among the following areas the Asiatic lions have been translocated from the Gir National Park, ऐसे क्वेश्चन पूछा गया था. So answer is Kuno Wildlife Sanctuary. तो where this Kuno Wildlife Sanctuary is located, आज जाकर आपको देखना है. इसी Kuno Wildlife Sanctuary में ही क्या किया गया है, the African cheetahs have been translocated. Clear? Have you ever seen the Asiatic lion? कभी आपने देखा Asiatic lion कैसे होती है? Zoo में कभी visit किया आप लोगों ने? Many Indian zoos have the Asiatic lions. Let's see it on the screen. Can all see the lion is considered as a king of forest, right? Yes, these are the Asiatic lions. इनकी संख्या इंडिया में बहुत कम होती जा रही है, and these are being preserved. अब गिर नेशनल पार्क से कुनो नेशनल पार्क में क्यों इसको ट्रांसफर किया जा रहा है? Because in गिर नेशनल एरियाज और गिर जो माउंटेन एरियाज और फॉरेस्ट एरियाज है, वहां पर एपिडेमिक्स की वजह से वहां पर बहुत सारे डिजास्टर भी हो रहे हैं, cyclones है, then earthquakes है. Because of all these reasons, these are being translocated to other, you can say, secure area. So Kuno National Park या गिर एशियाटिक लायंस जो हैं, इनके लिए एक सुटेबल एरिया है, इसके वजह से वहां पे क्या किया जा रहा है, that is being translocated. Clear? So frontline the हिंदू में एक्सप्लेन किया गया why the Asiatic lion needs a second home. See it on your screen, is it visible?
Yes, sir.
So you can search it in ChatGPT today, because to read this it is asking to subscribe. Fine. Now let's move on to the next project. Apart from Asiatic lion, we do have the next important endangered species in India, that is called a snow leopard. Snow leopards live in mountain regions of Central Asia In India, their geographical cover encompasses the large part of the Western Himalaya. India का जो Western Himalaya का जो पार्ट है, वहां पर snow leopards पाए जाते हैं. States of Himachal Pradesh, Jammu and Kashmir, and Uttarakhand, with a sizable population in Ladakh, Sikkim, and Arunachal Pradesh. In Eastern Himalayas, Eastern Himalayas में अरुणाचल प्रदेश में भी वो पाए जाते हैं. They are found at high elevation of 3,000 to 4,500 meters, and even higher in the Himalayas. So the snow leopard is listed as an endangered IUCN World Conservation Union Red List. What is this IUCN? That I will be discussing with you in detail later. मैं बाद में explain कर दूंगा कि IUCN क्या है. But as per IUCN, the snow leopard is an endangered species, right? So it is in red list of the threatened species. So IUCN has created red data list, then green data list, and the yellow data list. से अलग अलग उनके डेटा है. तो red का मतलब होता है कि ये सबसे ज्यादा endangered species है. Keeping in this view, because this is in the list of the red data list of the IUCN, the snow leopard को क्या किया गया, प्रोटेक्ट किया गया by WWF. WWF is a World Wildlife Fund. उसका इंडिया का जो ब्रांच है, it has initiated this project, snow leopard conservation and initiative in the states of Uttarakhand and some areas of Himachal Pradesh to conserve the biodiversity with community participation. तो वहां के लोगों के साथ now you can see here WWF is an international non-governmental organization. दोनों जो हैं प्रोजेक्ट एलिफेंट एंड प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर, this have been sponsored and funded and regulated and monitored by the government of India. But snow leopard, it has been protected and conserved by a non-governmental organization. ये गवर्नमेंट के द्वारा नहीं किया जा रहा है, ये नॉन गवर्नमेंटल ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के द्वारा किया जा रहा है by WWF. And WWF का काम का तरीका ये कि it takes the people in that area in protecting that particular plant and that particular animal. उस एरिया में अगर कोई प्लांट है, अगर कोई एनिमल है, इसको अगर हमें प्रोटेक्ट करना है, अगर प्रोटेक्ट करना है, तो वहां के लोगों का पार्टिसिपेशन इज आल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो दैट्स व्हाट यू कैन सी हियर दैट कि WWF had started this project, Snow Leopard Conservation and Initiative, in the states of Uttarakhand and some of the areas of Himachal Pradesh to conserve the biodiversity with community participation. Clear? That's what you need to remember. The initiative will take to protect some other plants as well, like Asia's vulture from extinction. Vulture, all of you know what are vulture? हिंदी में क्या कहा जाता है vulture? सृष्टि?
गीध.
सर गीध.
सालों में बहुत कम हो गई. Anyone knows why the number of the vulture has reduced tremendously? मतलब अचानक से vultures की संख्या कम हो गई. Now, what is the role played by the vulture in an ecosystem? Ecosystem में vulture का क्या रोल होता है? Because we know that each and every plant and animal has certain role, functional role in ecosystem. So what is the role of vultures? Yes, Omkar.
हॅलो.
Yes, Avinash.
सर तो मेलेल्या पक्ष्यांना म्हणजे खायचं काम सडलेल्या म्हणजे खाल्लेलं ते सडायच्या अवस्थेत तो खात असतो सर.
Right. It acts as a, you can say, scavenger, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? So vultures acts as a scavengers, and because of that, what happens? जो बचा हुआ जो मिनरल रिसोर्सेस है वो सॉइल में मिक्सअप होता है. सो पिछले कुछ सालों से वल्चर की संख्या कम होती जा रही है. Anyone knows why the number of the vulture was reduced drastically in the last 2 decades? साथ any idea about it? मुझे लगता है शायद हमने न्यूज़पेपर में पढ़ा था कहीं पर कि why the number of the vulture in India has been reduced drastically.
No, sir.
No, check it. There is one drug called diclofenac. Diclofenac नाम का एक drug है, which diclofenac is actually it is an painkiller and ये antibiotic भी है. So what happens, this diclofenac drug was utilized by our farmers, not farmers, but you can say the dairy जो होते हैं वहां पर इसका इस्तेमाल बड़े पैमाने पे किया जाता था. Diclofenac का injection, the injection of the diclofenac was given to the milch animals because it is believed that if you do the injection of the diclofenac to the milch animals, it gives more milk. वो बहुत ज्यादा दूध देते हैं, ऐसा एक बिलीव था. और उसकी वजह से क्या हो गया था कि every day the diclofenac was injected into those milch animals. Buffaloes में बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे buffaloes and cows में दिया गया था. And we all know कि जब भी buffalo और cow की death हो जाती है तो what we do with that? We take that buffalo and we take that cow and throw outside the city. We throw it outside the villages. फिर वहां पर गिद्ध आते हैं. Then they eat that dead animal, right? So what has happened that all that diclofenac which has entered into the vulture के body में जो enter किया गया उसके वजह से that vulture got infected by the diclofenac which acted as a poison to the vulture and vulture dies. तो ये 15-20 साल के बाद में ये पता चल गया farmers are using diclofenac और diclofenac की संख्या, diclofenac का जो प्रमाण है, जो रेशियो है वो वल्चर्स में बढ़ता चला गया और उसकी वजह से क्या हो गया, वल्चर की संख्या कम हो गई है. ये रिसर्च के बाद में पता चल गया आफ्टर 15 to 20 years. Then the diclofenac जो ड्रग था उसको बैन किया गया for veterinary use. वेटरनरी यूज के लिए उसको बैन किया गया. ह्यूमन बीइंग आर स्टिल कंज्यूम इट, बट उससे दैट इंजेक्शन इज नॉट अलाउड फॉर द काउज एंड बफेलोज इन इंडिया. सो एशिया के जो वल्चर है उनको प्रोटेक्ट करने के लिए किया गया. तो दैट्स व्हाट यू कैन से दैट created to oversee and coordinate conservation, campaigning and fundraising activities to help the plight of South Asia's vulture. So diclofenac is a drug which was responsible for the reduction in the number of the vultures in India. All of you got it? So let me show it to you in the Google as well, that why the number of the vulture reduced in India. Indian vulture crisis. Can you see it here? The 9 species of vulture can be found living in India, but most are now in danger of extinction after a rapid and major population collapse. मतलब बहुत कम समय में vulture की संख्या collapse हो गई थी. In early 1980s, the 3 species of gyps vultures, that is white-rumped vulture and long-billed vulture and slender-billed vulture, had combined estimated population of 40 million in South Asia, जो बहुत कम हो गई. One of the important reason, again you can see, this vulture has been brought into IUCN Red Data Book. What is this Red Data Book? That I will be discussing with you later on. We can see here that a major contributing factor. Can you see it here? A major contributing factor in declining the population of the vulture is believed to be widespread use of drugs as a diclofenac, once commonly used as a livestock anti-inflammatory drug. Veterinary usage of diclofenac has been banned in India since 2006. 2006 से veterinary usage उसका ban किया गया. So that is what is one of the important reasons. So that is what is stated here. The dramatic vulture decline observed across India presents the range of ecological threats by influencing number of and distribution of other scavenging species, increased feral dog population. इसकी वजह से क्या हो गया? वल्चर की संख्या कम होने की वजह से डॉग की संख्या बढ़ गई. रिमेंबर, आपने देखा कि आपके एरिया में बहुत बड़े पैमाने पे डॉग्स की संख्या बहुत बढ़ गई है. पहले इतने डॉग्स नहीं पाए जाते थे, but you can find a lot of dogs, strayed dogs on the streets now. So that is what you can see. Increased feral dog populations have been reported all over India, posing many associated disease risks such as rabies to human and wildlife. India already accounts for a very high incidence of rabies cases, and an absolute shortage of quality anti-rabies vaccine in rural areas can aggravate the problem of even further. Similarly, increased crow population at carcass sites near settlement areas pose risk of infection of poultry, domesticated birds, and humans. Prevalence of the concentric diclofenac residues in ungulate carcass is important for India's threatened vulture population. A small portion of ungulate carcasses containing lethal levels of the diclofenac is enough to cause a observed rapid decline of the vulture population. तो इंडिया में जो vulture का population जो decline हो गया है, the reason is the use of drug called diclofenac. Got it? So vultures previously played a very important role in public sanitation. You can say, you know, these are the scavengers, natural scavengers. मतलब you know, नेचर के द्वारा साफ सफाई करने वाले ये हमारे क्या वॉरियर्स हैं, वल्चर हैं. So these play an important role in public sanitation in India, and their disappearance has resulted in number of problems, and such numerous conservation schemes are in place to assist the recovery of the vulture population. Is it clear that why it is important to protect the vultures in India and why the vulture की संख्या कम हो रही थी? Now one of the important area जहां पर इसको प्रोटेक्ट किया जा रहा है, that is what is called as केवलदेव घाना नेशनल पार्क. You can see केवलदेव घाना नेशनल पार्क, which is a famous एविया फाउना सैंक्चुरी in भरतपुर राजस्थान. भरतपुर राजस्थान में एक केवलदेव घाना नेशनल पार्क है. It's the famous bird sanctuary. You can see it was the especially during the winter season and known for over 350 species of birds जहां पर हैं, तो वहां पर ये vultures पाए जाते हैं. तो यहां उसको प्रोटेक्ट किया जा रहा है. Is it clear? Diclofenac is being regulated in India. Fine. These are the 3 to 4 important, the projects which is being run by the government. Then next is the rhino, Indian rhino, the Indian rhinoceros, which are found in the Assam. These are also being protected in India with the help of WWF, IRF, and US Fish and Wildlife Services. So that has been, it is being protected and preserved in the Assam. All of you know Indian rhino. Let's see the Indian rhino which is found in Assam. Is my voice audible to all? Can you all hear my voice? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So WWF is, you can say, this is with the snow leopard, that is Indian rhinos. So ups and downs of the eventful decade of the rhino conservation in India's Manas National Park. So India went into nationwide lockdown in March 2020. Forest Department staff continued their patrolling and monitoring the wildlife habitat despite the challenges ranging from the restriction. So you can say Rhino Vision 2020 has been started by WWF, which is called as Indian Rhino Vision 2020. It has been initiated with a collaboration between Assam Forest Department, International Rhino Foundation, and WWF. So you can see the participation of the non-governmental organization as well as the international government organization is also very important for preservation and conservation. So राइनो को प्रोजेक्ट प्रिजर्व करने के लिए इंटरनेशनल राइनो फाउंडेशन, इंडिया एंड असम फॉरेस्ट all them are working together. However, over the years, the program incorporated various other collaboration supporters at multiple levels like Bodoland Territorial Council, then US Fish and Wildlife Services. So these are the areas which are helping in protecting the rhinos. IRB 2020 strategy aimed at to expand the species range from 3 protected areas within the Assam. तो असम में 3 एरियाज हैं जहां पर राइनो को प्रोटेक्ट किया जाता है, including Manas, which is a globally recognized key biodiversity area because it is one of the most important places in the world for biodiversity. It was vital to increase the range of the critically endangered rhino as its population risked being decimated even further by poaching. मतलब इसकी संख्या कम होती जा रही थी. Poaching का मतलब होता है hunting, then diseases, then natural disasters and habitat degradation. So indeed, more than 80% of India's rhinos were concentrated in just one park, that is called Kaziranga National Park, another India's wealth of ABS. Along with Manas National Park, it is also being protected in Kaziranga National Park. So over the past 12 years, despite numerous challenges, the Assam Forest Department, with the help of the partners and the support of the local communities, had successfully reintroduced 20 rhinos in Manas National Park, which is currently boast of 43 rhinos. So it is having only around 43 rhinos now. It has been a major conservation success and contributed significantly towards the efforts to try and meet the targets set by Rhino Task Force to boost the state's rhino population by 3,000 distributed across the 7 protected areas end of the 2020. So in India now you can see we have around 3,000 rhinos in India. ठीक है, तो इनको रीइंट्रोड्यूस किया जा रहा है फ्रॉम काजीरंगा नेशनल पार्क टू मानस नेशनल पार्क. So you can see a picture that how they are being relocated and they are being reintroduced in some other parts. Now, what is the link between the conservation and community engagement that is explained here? किसी भी plants और animal को अगर हमें protect करना है, preserve करना है, तो वहां के लोगों को community engagement करना बहुत जरूरी है. That is what is explained here, that how the local self bodies and as well as the people in that area, the youth in that area, why there is a need to train them and unka participation क्यों important है, that is what is explained. So please take this. This will be useful for you in mains exam. Prelims exam में तो शायद इस पे कोई question नहीं आएगा, but mains exam में the question can be asked to you that discuss that why the local participation is important in preserving and conserving the various plants and animal species in India. So that's what you can see. Gradually, यहाँ पर एक last paragraph में explain किया गया, community engagement was expanded and strengthened with the promotion of agricultural based activities, handicrafts and ecotourism. The Assam government, BTC, WWF and other NGOs have also been helping community based conservation organizations such as Manas Mao Zedonry Ecotourism Society, Manas Ever Welfare Society, to raise awareness about the importance of conservation in the area. Collectively, 18 community organizations under the banner of the United Front of Conservation of Nature are helping the drive positive change in the wildlife conservation in parts of Manas Tiger Reserve. So what is the role of NGOs, self-help groups, communities, participation, local bodies? Like यहाँ पर जो BTC कहा गया है, like tribal council, so such type of local bodies, they also play a very important role in preserving such type of endangered animals. So ये जो भी efforts लिए गए, whether it is tiger or Asiatic lion or snow leopard or rhino, all these have been a decade-long journey. मतलब it's a very long-term fight. तो ये एक दिन या 2 दिन में नहीं होता. That's what you can say that. For decades, the people have worked for preserving and conserving these animals. That first translocation was carried out in 2008. उसके बाद continuously ये काम किया जा रहा है. So that's what we can read this story. This is the story with respect to the conservation of rhinos in India. ठीक है? Now tomorrow we will be discussing the various international level efforts, like what efforts are being taken at the international level, and depending upon the role of that species in that ecosystem, उस ecosystem में वो particular species कौन सा role play करता है, accordingly the various terms are used, like dominant species, keystone species, then umbrella species, then there are some other like critical link species. These are the various types of species. इस साल के prelims exam में question पूछा गया था about the keystone species. Anyone remember? Was there any question with respect to the keystone species in this year's prelims exam, Sagar?
Yes, sir.
Right? आज वो जाकर देखना है आपको कि वो क्वेश्चन क्या था. साथ में हमने आपको एक टास्क दिया था. I don't know whether you have done or not.
Yes, sir. I completed that task.
What was that?
Sir, to find out the question of CBDC in prelims paper of 2023.
उसके बाद क्या करने को बताया था मैंने आपको?
Sir, I sent in the group.
Okay, ठीक है. शायद मैंने ही ग्रुप पे आज मैंने चेक नहीं किया. I'll check it out. One more task जो इस ईयर के prelims एग्जाम में कीस्टोन स्पीसीज से रिलेटेड एक क्वेश्चन आया था, वो भी आपको देखें. ठीक है. ये जो चीजें हैं आपको ये रोज करनी है. देखिए, चाहे मैं आपको रिमाइंड करूं या ना करूं, 3 things you need, you are not only sir, everybody needs to do it. क्या है मुझे बताइए. व्हाट इज सिस्टमैटिक वे ऑफ प्रिपरेशन, कोई बताएगा? मैंने बहुत बार आपको बताया. ये चीज अगर आप रेगुलरली फॉलो करोगे ना, आपको कोई नहीं रोकेगा यूपीएससी क्वालिफाई करने. क्या है वो? व्हाट आर द स्टेप्स यू नीड टू फॉलो, जो रोज आपको करना है. सागर.
Yes, sir. Every day read your newspaper and go through the previous year question paper and follow the syllabus.
ठीक है.
And
देखिए, जो भी टॉपिक मैं आपको पढ़ा रहा हूँ, whatever topic I am teaching you in class, like basic class में suppose today I have taught you the various projects run by the government to preserve the various animals, endangered animals in India, or elements endangered species in India. तो आज मैंने आपको ये टॉपिक पढ़ा है, तो आज ही आपको प्रीवियस ईयर प्रीलिम्स एज वेल एज प्रीवियस ईयर मेंस के क्वेश्चन पेपर उसी दिन आपको देखना है. ये रोज करना है आपको. ये मैं पहले दिन से आपको बताता हूँ. You have to do it whether I remind to you or I don't remind you. This needs to be happen mechanically, right? जो भी टॉपिक मैं पढ़ा रहा हूँ आपको, जैसे कि आज मैंने प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर पढ़ाया है, प्रोजेक्ट एलिफेंट पढ़ाया, प्रोजेक्ट राइनो पढ़ाया है, जो मॉर्निंग के न्यूज़पेपर में मैंने 2-3 पॉइंट्स आपको देखने के लिए कहा था. तो एवरी डे बस इतना करना है, जो न्यूज़पेपर में आ रहा है वो पढ़ना है, जो बेसिक में पढ़ा रहा हूँ उसको पढ़ना है, और उसी दिन टॉपिक से रिलेटेड पिछले 2-3 सालों से या पिछले पूछा गया है, क्या पूछा है, तो कैसे क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है, और मेंस एग्जाम में कैसे क्वेश्चन पूछा गया, ये रोज आपको देखना है. क्लियर? यू हैव टू डू इट बाय योरसेल्फ. देखिए, आई कैन आल्सो प्रोवाइड इट टू यू, लेकिन मैं जब प्रोवाइड करूंगा ना, वो यू विल लूज द, यू कैन से नो, एंजॉयमेंट ऑफ कभी कभार कैसे होता है ना कि जब आप खुद से सर्च करके जब कोई ज्ञान पाते हो ना, उसका मजा कुछ और ही होता है. ये आदत आपको लगाना है. You have to have the habit of finding out the new information. ये आपको आदत लगनी चाहिए. उसकी वजह से I am not providing you the ready-made material. There might be many institutions, there might be many organizations, or there might be many people who might be providing this to you. Like मैंने recently एक ग्रुप पे शेयर किया था, साथ ही शायद उसको देखा है, एक न्यूज़पेपर, डेली न्यूज़पेपर एनालिसिस का एक पीडीएफ था, वो फ्रीली अवेलेबल है. That is available freely. बट अगर वो मैं आपको देता रहूंगा ना, तो फिर आप क्या करेंगे, आप उसी पे डिपेंडेंट करेंगे, आप खुद से सर्च नहीं करेंगे. जब तक आप खुद से सर्च नहीं करेंगे, जब तक आप खुद से नहीं पढ़ेंगे, तब तक वो चीज आपके ध्यान में नहीं रहेगी. गॉट इट? तो उसका एक जो मजा होता है ना, नए नए चीजों को समझना, सर्च करना, फाइंड आउट करना, लाइक अभी तो आपके लिए बहुत आसान है, लाइक ओनली 1 click of your mobile phone you are getting information. But when we used to prepare for UPSC, we have to go to Delhi. मतलब यहाँ से, महाराष्ट्र से हमें दिल्ली जाना पड़ता था to bring the books, to bring the material, right? We have to go. मतलब अभी तो ऑनलाइन न्यूज़पेपर अवेलेबल है. When I used to prepare at that time, online newspaper were not available. We used to walk 5 kilometers, 6 kilometers to go and read the newspaper in library. आप वो मेहनत करके जो आप चीजों को पढ़ते हो ना, वो आपके दिमाग में ज्यादा रहता है. इजी स्पून फीडिंग जब होता है ना, वो आपके दिमाग में रहेगा नहीं, आप भूल जाओगे. That's why I am asking you to do that. मैं ये चाहता हूं कि आप खुद सर्च करो कि उस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक पे कैसे क्वेश्चन पूछा गया है, उस पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक पे प्रीलिम्स में कैसे क्वेश्चन पूछा गया और मेंस में कैसे क्वेश्चन पूछा गया। क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to like make you handicapped. मुझे आपको अपाहिज नहीं बनाना है by providing you everything ready-made material. आप उन चीजों को समझ लो, समझ के खुद से उसको फाइंड आउट करो। ये रोज करना ही है। 3 चीजें आपको ध्यान में रखना, बस इतना करते इसको फॉलो करो। सुबह न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ना है, न्यूज़पेपर में जो मैं टॉपिक आपको बताता हूँ वो विदाउट फेल, कुछ भी हो जाए वो आपको मिस नहीं करना है। फिर बेसिक क्लास में मैं जो पढ़ाता हूँ, जो टॉपिक मैं आपको बेसिक क्लास में पढ़ा रहा हूँ, उतने टॉपिक से रिलेटेड प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चंस क्या होते हैं वो उसी दिन आपको देखना है। एंड अगर आपके पास में वक्त है, अगर आपको लगता है कि नाउ आई हैव मेरे पास अभी इतना कंटेंट आ गया, मैं इतना भी काबिल हो गया हूँ कि आई कैन राइट द आंसर्स, तो एटलीस्ट राइट 1 or 2 क्वेश्चन आंसर। प्रीवियस ईयर ही क्यों ना हो, प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन पेपर निकाल के 1 या 2 क्वेश्चन आंसर लिखने की प्रैक्टिस अभी से शुरू करो। 2 चीजें ध्यान में रखिए आपको इस एग्जाम में क्वालिफाई करती है। एक पहला है कि प्रीलिम्स एग्जाम में आंसर निकालने आना चाहिए। ध्यान में रखिए, आप कितने भी नोट्स बनाइए, कितने भी किताबें पढ़िए, कितना भी सब कुछ कर लीजिए, अगर अल्टीमेटली एग्जाम हॉल में प्रीलिम्स एग्जाम में अगर आप आंसर नहीं निकाल पा रहे हो तो उन नोट्स का कुछ फायदा नहीं है, कितने भी आप बुक्स कलेक्ट करो। मेंस एग्जाम में आप कितने भी नोट्स बनाओ, कितने भी बुक्स रेफर करो, कितनी भी किताबें पढ़ो, अगर आप एग्जाम हॉल में जाकर अगर आप आंसर नहीं लिख पा रहे हो तो आप एग्जाम को क्वालिफाई नहीं करेंगे। 2 चीजें आपको एग्जाम में क्वालिफाई करेंगी। एक है प्रीलिम्स एग्जाम में हाउ टू फाइंड आउट द आंसर, द स्किल ऑफ फाइंडिंग आउट द आंसर, एंड इन मेंस एग्जाम हाउ टू राइट द आंसर। तो ये रोज करना है। एवरी डे यू नीड टू गो थ्रू द क्वेश्चंस, एवरी डे यू नीड टू हैव एटलीस्ट राइट 1 आंसर। शुरुआत करिए, आंसर लिखने की शुरुआत करिए। जो भी टॉपिक आपने अच्छे से किया है उस टॉपिक से आंसर लिखने की प्रैक्टिस शुरुआत करें। क्लियर? ये रोज करना है। आई डोंट वांट टू रिपीट इट अगेन, एवरी डे यू हैव टू डू इट। बस इतना करना है 7 से 8 महीने। यू विल फील सेटिस्फाइड, आपको लगेगा कि यस आई एम प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर दिस। अदरवाइज व्हाट विल हैपन, यू विल जस्ट कीप ऑन रीडिंग एंड रीडिंग एंड रीडिंग एंड रीडिंग, और 4 साल के बाद में क्या हो जाएगा अविनाश? लाइक दिल की तमन्ना दिल में रह जाती है, राइट अविनाश?
सर हॅलो,
यस अविनाश, तुझा आवाज ऐकू येतो।
सर जरा भीतीच वाटते सर प्रिव्हियस इयर क्वेश्चन बघायला सर।
काय भीती वाटते?
काय की सर पण ते एकदम क्लिष्ट वाटतं सर ते बघायला, खूप म्हणजे
तू
खूप
अभ्यास न करता जर बघितला तर तुला भीतीच वाटणार आहे ना। तो व्हाट यू नीड टू डू, जो टॉपिक आपने पढ़ा है उसी टॉपिक के क्वेश्चन देखना है। जैसे कि आज मैंने टॉपिक पढ़ाया आपको प्रोजेक्ट टाइगर, प्रोजेक्ट एलिफेंट वगैरह, उसी टॉपिक से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन देखना। अगर आप जो टॉपिक आपने नहीं पढ़ा है, जो टॉपिक आपने पढ़ाई नहीं की है, उस टॉपिक के क्वेश्चन देखेंगे तो ऑफकोर्स आपको डर लगेगा ही। बरोबर अविनाश? ज्या टॉपिकचा अभ्यास त्या दिवशी केलेला आपण, जे आपण डिस्कशन केलेला आहे त्या टॉपिक से रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन आपल्याला बघायचे।
ओके।
अच्छा, एक और चीज है, डर लगना चाहिए नहीं लगना चाहिए? सागर,
Yes, sir.
आफ्टर लुकिंग एट द क्वेश्चन पेपर, भीती वाटत असेल त्याचा अर्थ काय आहे? थोडा अविनाश एक्सप्लेन कर।
भीती वाटत असेल तर सर ते क्वेश्चन्स आपल्याला पहिलाच समजून जाते की ते आपल्याला येत नाही म्हणून सर।
सर भीती वाटत आहे याचा अर्थ काय आहे अविनाश? तुला या एक्झामची डेप्थ कळत आहे। गॉट इट अविनाश? की आपल्याला किती अभ्यास करायचा हे तुला कळत। अदरवाइज काय होईल, भीती वाटत नसेल, भीती वाटत नसेल तर यू आर टेकिंग दॅट एक्झाम कॅज्युअल। जेव्हा तुला ते प्रश्नाचं गांभीर्य कळतो, त्या प्रश्नाचं डेप्थ कळतो, तेव्हाच तुला भीती वाटते। अदरवाइज दुसऱ्यांना दाखवलं ना, त्यांना असं वाटत असेल की इझी, याचा अर्थ काय की त्या प्रश्न एक्झामचा डिफिकल्टी लेवल कळत नाही। सो भीती वाटणे हे प्रॉब्लेम नाहीये। प्रॉब्लेम काय आहे की तुला त्या प्रश्नाचं उत्तर येत नाहीये, तर आपल्याला त्या प्रश्नाचं उत्तर काढण्यासाठी काय करावं लागेल ह्याच्यावर तुला वर्कआउट करावं लागेल। यू नीड टू वर्कआउट that what I need to read, what I need to study to find out the answer of that question. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
चलिए, so we'll stop it here now. We'll continue tomorrow in the morning.